All right, this past weekend we had a little trouble with signals. We've been making them pretty simple, but I need to get everybody to understand the signals. So that's what I want kids looking at over the next 2 weeks before we have our next games, okay? Everything's offensive right now. These are all offensive signals. So our number system is very simple. Take, bunt, steal, squeeze, squeeze bunt, and hit and run, okay? Those numbers can be given just like so, or they can be given through a tap system. The tap system means how many times I tap somewhere on my body after an indicator. The indicator can be anything. Generally, the indicator will be the bill of the cap. So I will call that William. If I tell everybody, hey, William is hot, Bill is short for William. So in the middle of a game, I can switch and say, hey, Letterman is hot. Obviously, the letters across the jersey. Back in my day, there was somebody called David Letterman who ran Late Night Show. So sometimes we start with William, and all of a sudden I think the other team's starting to pick up on our signals. I can say, hey, we're switching to Letterman. And all that does is change the indicator. You count the number of taps between the indicator. So I can do all these things, nothing matters. We're gonna say the nose is the indicator right now since I'm not wearing a cap. So I'm touching, nope, nothing's on. Now we start to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to the nose. That would be hit and run. Going through it again. 1, back to the nose. That would be take. Nose is the indicator again. Nothing's on. Now we start to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a clap. I never went back to the indicator, nothing is on. So once again, nose is the indicator. Now we count 1, 2, 3, 4, back to the nose, decoys afterwards, 4, that would be squeeze bunt, okay? So those are our simple signals. When I give something to a base runner, he needs to acknowledge that he understands something is on by touching his helmet. He can touch the bill of his helmet, he can touch the top of his helmet, doesn't matter to me. That is the acknowledgement for yes, I know something is on. The acknowledgement for I understand nothing is on is just hitching their pants, pulling on their pant leg, any part of their pants to let me know they think nothing's on. That allows me to recognize in that moment they either understand the signal or they missed a signal. Same thing is true for the batter. They acknowledge, yes, I know something's on, or no, nothing's on. As a hitter, if I give tap system, touch the nose, 1, 2, 3, I go back to here. The hitter should be acknowledging, I got it, nothing's on for me. The base runner should be acknowledging, yes, something is on for me. That's how we acknowledge that, okay? More times than not, players should be acknowledging nothing is on. But we will have things on and it's important that we know them. Those are our general signals, okay? I can also just hold up the number. So a lot of times I'll say, hey, there's 2 outs, but I'll put up a number 3. Okay, so the kids need to be paying attention that even though I'm saying there's 2 outs, I'm actually putting up a number 3. Sometimes I'll hold it against my chest. Sometimes I'll hold it down to the side. Kids need to be paying attention. A lot of times the situation will tell them what the signal is. If they can't see my hands for some reason, the situation should tell them what we're doing. Once the season gets going, they already have been told this. Runners on first and second, nobody out, that is 99% going to be a sacrifice bunt situation. Runners on first and third with nobody out or 1 out, that is 99% of the time going to be a safety squeeze situation. A safety squeeze is just a drag bunt. The runner on third base is reading it. The runner on second base is treating it like a sac bunt, okay? More signals that I want them to know. If I drag my hand down my arm with my thumb up, that is a drag bunt. If I run my hand down my arm with my thumb down, nothing's on, that's a decoy. So that's our drag bunt situation, okay? As we go along, I'll teach them how to slash or slug bunt, which is basically they pull back, and then they swing at a pitch. That's just gonna be a crosshair, okay? Just slash, okay? What else do we have? If I do this, so my hands go back and forth, like so. This is next pitch. So that means I will often go through this and go, next pitch, 1, 2, 3, back to my nose. So next pitch, steal is on. So they should both acknowledge nothing is on this pitch, and then on the next pitch, I don't have to give a signal, and they should acknowledge, yep, we know something's on this pitch. So again, next pitch. Another signal we have is this. This is a fake bunt, okay? Fake bunt. That's where they show a bunt and they pull back as the pitch comes to maybe steal behind third baseman, something of that nature. If I give verbal signals, for instance, if I say, get one more, that is always a steal sign, okay? One more, they should understand we are stealing on that next pitch. If I'm standing, I don't stand with my hands on my hips very often. I usually stand here. A lot of times I'll stand here. If my hands are on my hips, that is our delay signal. So you can see that kind of looks like the letter D. So that's our delayed steal signal. These are just, I'm not going through all of our signals. I just want to make sure we have the majority of them. Bill of my cap, if I touch the bill of my cap like so, that is green light, or swing away, hit away. That means, it's a 3-0 count, they can swing away. If there's a runner stealing, I can still say, I want you swinging away if the pitch is there, those type of things. What else do I have? We'll put this in later in the season, but probably something to know now is, so I put this up, that looks like the letter W. That's a walk-off. So runner on first base takes his lead, he'll be running or jogging as soon as the pitcher comes set to try and draw a throw, get into a rundown, so on and so forth. But I think those are the signals that I want them to know by the end of this next weekend that we play as far as offensive goes. We'll put in a lot more. That's a pretty good basis. Okay, so now wipe the mind and think about being a base runner, okay? So if the runner's on second base and he's running towards third, or hitter has just hit a ball, he's running towards second. If my hands are up, that means stop by rounding the base. You can round the base. I want you to stop at the base, but you can round the base, okay? If I put my hands like so, that means you stop on the base. So this is stop but round the base. This is stop on the base. Those are signals guys need to know. If I do nothing, if I stand like this, runners keep running. They should be running. Now, when they run from first to second and are planning on coming to third, that is their decision. But from second to home, that becomes my decision because I can see the ball, they can't. Ball behind them in the right field corner, that's my decision because they can't see it. So that's why this and this become important. They need to understand those type of things. But if I do absolutely nothing, if my hands stay down, they should keep running. I want them to be running without anybody knowing they're running. If I say stop, 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 or go, 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 people know that. And so they start to communicate and they start to talk, gives them an advantage. But if I do nothing, we get 4 or 5 steps before anybody says anything, we have the advantage. So those are a couple of the base running, plus the more is another one I want them to understand. A lot of times I will recognize a pitcher's timing. So I will just look at my wrist and I'll do this, and I'll do this or do this, meaning their timing is 1001, pitch. Their timing, if I do that, when they come set, 1001, 1002, they pitch. So I'm telling the base runner, hey, we've got their timing. We need to be ready to run on those timing mechanisms. If I say, hey, look, I'll just do that. I'll point at my head and say, I'll turn my head. That's, hey, look how many times they're going. So the time the pitcher will come set, 1 look, 2 look, and then they pitch. So I'll tell the batter, hey, look, 2. So those are non-verbal communications that I want the kids to understand as far as signals go. Pitching, I think we've done a decent job of understanding the different types of picks we have. I think sometimes they forget them as far as how their feet should work or the timing of it. But we'll continue to work on that. I'm not going to give signals for picks right here. I think they've done a pretty good job of understanding this is deeper and this is shallower in the outfield. I think most of our defensive stuff has been done pretty simply. But I do want them to start thinking about this. Catchers especially, pitchers when you're catching. When there's a runner at second base, a lot of times catchers will go to a second signal type situation. I don't want to do that. I want us to understand catchers are going to call it just like I do. If you guys have watched, I call, I'll touch the bill of my cap first, then I'll touch my chin, then I'll touch my chest. Those are our three indicators. Bill of the cap is a fastball, chin is a curveball, chest is a breaking ball, a changeup. When we get a runner on second base, I want the catchers to do the same thing. Catchers are going to go, through a series of decoys. That's all decoy, and then they're going to go. If they touch the top of their head first, it's a fastball. If they touch their face first, it is a breaking ball. If they touch their chest first, it is a changeup. So a catcher's down in his stance, and he knows there's a runner on second base. He gets the signal from me. He's going to go decoy, 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 whatever he's doing, and then he's going to go, okay, fastball, decoy, 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 decoy. All right, and then he's going to give the location. So it'd be a fastball on this side of the plate. Those are things I want them to start understanding that we're going to use with runners on second base. And again, these videos are always here to go back to. So if they're struggling, they can always go back to them. That gives us a pretty good general idea of our simplest signals for offense and a little bit of pitching signals with a little bit of defense. So let's use that, let's prep that so that next time we play, I can put these signals in for these 3 games that we're going to play, and we can get more done, because then we're off for 5 months and we need to have a basis of what we're doing before we go. All right, thanks for your time.